Welcome back to CultureCast, episode 27. Merry Christmas from us to you. Hope everybody had a nice holiday weekend, parties, gifts, family, love. If you're the Pistons, depression. Uh, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird month, weird season in basketball, and I think we've all kind of seen quite a lot of stuff lately, and we're gonna get into some of that and some underlying topics within it all that I think are really coming to the forefront now because of results and a lack thereof. And I'm being very vague on purpose. Don't worry. But instead of introing all the topics, I think we're just gonna go into them and start off as usual and just give our recaps of the Thunder and the Warriors since we last recorded. Uh, we'll start, of course, with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Dominic, how are you feeling about your team? What's going on? Anything new going on there?
I'm loving everything right now. They took the biggest win of the season against the Timberwolves the other night, and they beat them by 20. They showed me a lot in that game. They stuck up on defense. They did very well together. A lot of cohesion the whole game, and it was a beautiful SGA masterpiece for him. I mean, this was one of the best games Chet has had all season too.
Right.
First game, Gobert did his job against Chet. Chet had a horrible game, did terrible, did not look good whatsoever. This time around, Chet won the matchup and he looked phenomenal. And that's all I can really say when you're playing the best team in the West, and which
Right.
they are. I mean, I don't think there's anything else there. I think they're still a number one, and they're a phenomenal team. I mean, they won last night against the Mavericks, or was that 2 nights ago? I don't remember exactly, but
Yeah.
they're still a phenomenal team. They're still the best team in the West. And to be honest with you, I like them more than I do the Celtics.
100%.
Timberwolves are still a very tough defensive-minded team, which that's great, and they're going to have a lot of success. But I'm very happy OKC went in, got to win. That was very much needed, and it said a lot. And the next night they played against the Knicks, beat them. That was very nice as well. A lot of very good Jalen Williams game, did phenomenal. And as the season's starting to go on, I'm starting to see Giddy starting to get a little bit more into a basketball mind. He looks a little better. He's not looking as bad. He looks a lot more fitted into the offense, and he's been playing a bit better. I will say that. We did lose to the Lakers on December 23rd. They got the best of us, I will say that.
Yeah.
LeBron, I mean,
Hell of a
I
game.
really
Yeah.
do against that. Yeah, he had a phenomenal game, and I mean Anthony Davis did pretty well as well. They took care of business. Lakers did what they did and made sense. But as I've been seeing, I like to see the Thunder tightening up a lot more on defense. They looked phenomenal against the Timberwolves. I think that was the best game of the season so far. They played phenomenal defense the whole 48 minutes. They limited the best team in the West, I believe, to 102 points or 103 points. Don't remember. I mean, and nowadays I feel like no team's not going to put up 100. I feel like 100 is just so
Yeah.
obvious nowadays that it's not even a difference. But that was the best game I've seen all year for sure. I mean, the whole team came together. They played well. All starters played very well. I believe it was all starters put up 10 at least, and it was like three of them were on 20. So,
Right.
I mean, an
I mean, I
SGA.
saw Jalen put up like 36 the
Oh,
other
that was
night
against the
too.
Knicks. Yeah,
Yeah.
he put up his career high against the Knicks, and he was 13 for 16 or 12 for 16.
Yeah.
So, and then their Knicks are not a bad defense whatsoever.
No, they're solid.
They're
Yeah.
top 10 usually no matter what. With Tim,
Obviously, no Mitchell Robinson hurts him, but still, they're very well coached defensively. So yeah.
yeah, defense is not their issue, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was one of the better wins that the Thunder have had all year. As the Timberwolves game. Happy about it, not too mad about anything.
Yeah.
Playing a lot. They're playing tough teams now. They're getting into their tough part of their schedule, and yeah, they're going to lose to the Lakers. I understand that. You can't win them all, obviously, but that Timberwolves win that really opened my eyes to, man, this team can really do some damage in the playoffs possibly if they
Hmm.
come together like this. And another thing about that Knicks game, they only had four turnovers as a unit together. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like, man, these guys are, and it was a pretty close game. It was 129 to 120. It was a close game pretty much the whole thing. The whole way through, it was not really that far, but they played very well and very patient, and they've been doing this all year. They've been very patient all year, but they're as time goes on, I think this team, this unit's just getting better as they play more, and that's really, really nice to see. And it's really nice to see a little bit more incorporation of getting into the offense. Um, he's playing a lot better than he was. I will say that he is still not anything special on defense, and I don't think that's going to change. But offensively, he's starting to look a lot more in tuned, and the playmaking is back to what it was. But there's still a few things that I would like to see from this unit. Um, Definitely, the bench is starting to really, really, really make me question a lot. Really thinking they need to hit up some phones or something because yeah, there's
Yeah,
a few unanswered questions on that bench, but. Definitely lots of positives. Lou Dort is having his best year ever offensively, and
yeah,
that's really fun to see. I mean, this whole team right now is they're firing on all cylinders, and just got to pray for the best. I can't really say much else. Defense is tightening up. It looks a lot better than what it was in the past. It's a lot better. That's all I can say. They lost to a LeBron masterclass. I'm not too mad about that. It's
haven't
LeBron.
we all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's one of the he's beat my team in the finals before. I'm not too surprised. It's LeBron, but no, very, 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 very fun start from them. And as they're starting to go into the middle of the season, hopefully they can keep this togetherness and they can keep playing the way they're playing because it's really fun to watch right now as a Thunder fan.
Yeah, yeah, no, man, it's still just a young team that's so good about like taking care of the ball and just
Unheard of, kind
the
of.
efficiency on offense. Like, and you guys don't take the easiest of shots. Like, you get a
No,
lot of easy looks because Shea generates them
yeah,
with his downhill presence, but like, it just I don't really see many games where you guys look like you're incapable of finding a shot.
yeah,
It's just everyone kind of has a way to get open, and again, guys like Jalen Williams and at this point even Lou Dort,
yeah,
they're just getting better and better, way quicker than I expected at
yeah,
developing the ability to either create for themselves or just be more confident in knockdown situations. Getting rookies like Case and Wallace, who
yeah.
again, the just efficiency is mind-boggling, and it's
Yes,
like Case and Wallace has played like 20 games, and I'm still like every time he's in the corner, I'm like that
it
shit's
goes
going
in.
down.
Yeah,
That's going
it's
down.
in, bro. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's always in. He's still, I believe, top like three or whatever in 3-point percentage. If he qualifies still, I don't know if he does anymore, but
yeah,
when he was,
it's
yeah, he's top three in percentage wise. So it's pretty fun to see that. But no,
yeah,
it's very fun, man. I mean, it's really nice to see the growth of young players. I did not expect Jalen Williams to take a leap like this. This is arguably, I'm a little biased here for sure, but I don't see a reason why. He's definitely not one of the top vote getters for All-Star. I'm not saying he's going to be in the All-Star game. I'm
yeah.
saying for the forward position, he should be up there for vote
At least
getters.
considered, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I
I
just
think he should probably win most improved player, frankly. I mean, like I
yeah,
said, man, I've said plenty of times, man, this Thunder team, you're looking at an end of the season awards ceremony where you could be looking at an MVP, a coach of the year, a rookie of the year, a most improved player,
yeah,
all NBA guys, all defense guys. Like I think it's going to be a ridiculous year for Thunder in awards. I
yeah,
just it's pretty impressive. I don't think anyone anticipated this level of a jump,
yeah.
from a team,
I
from a young team. I mean,
not this
I
good.
was expecting like after last season, I was like 2 or 3 more years away, and they'll be at this point.
Yeah,
Nope. They were
next
like,
year.
all right, we got a little tiny sliver of the playoffs. We're chilling. Chet's
Yeah,
back. And that's the other thing is Chet looks like he's been in the league for 10 years.
yeah.
Like I don't see any rookie mistakes from him. I
No,
just don't.
hardly
It's
ever.
wild.
Yeah,
He looks like he's been in the league for so long. It reminds me of Pajemski. It's like there
yeah.
are some of these rookies in this like past couple draft classes.
They're vets, kind of.
Yeah, they
No,
don't
yeah,
make those same dumb mistakes that most rookies make.
yeah.
It's impressive. I'm just
It's
impressed.
it is, man. I mean, I think efficiency from Chet, it's like I've never seen a rookie this efficient in my life. This is
Yeah.
I know he is not he's a big man. He's going to take a lot of points in the restricted area for sure, but he creates a lot of shots. He takes a lot of threes, and he's still hyper efficient for his position. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I think definitely that year off, and it really paid off because he's on a different level right now. And I feel like I would be surprised if he wasn't an all-star, but I feel like he probably won't be just because he's a rookie. But
Yeah.
it's
I
how
just
he.
hope they don't hold him for rookie of the year.
Oh
I
man,
just
no, they're
know,
going, man. They're
dude, I
going.
know they're gonna go Victor. It
They're
just
going to. Yeah, they
it's so
can.
stupid though. Like, I don't know. These awards are
Four
getting
win team.
ridiculous.
Yeah, 4-win team versus a 21 win team. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
It's weird, man. I hate that they're gonna do that, but
Yeah. Who
whatever.
knows? Maybe we see some maybe we see some news stuff from the NBA and they're like, you know what, we'll just give it to the guy that deserves it. So
Deserving guy that
yeah.
helped his team jump from like a 9 seed to a 2 seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? They probably won't. Whatever gets more. I mean, he's already the second most interacted NBA player this year, or like on Twitter. So it's like this guy's
Yeah.
a rookie and he's already number 2 in interactions behind LeBron. It's like this guy kind of really feeds the NBA some money. So
Yeah.
I feel like he'll most likely get it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not like he's not having a great MVP season or a great rookie of the year season in his own.
No.
He's phenomenal, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I wouldn't be very surprised. I know counting number wise, he's better than Chet, but efficiency, Chet's better in every category, I believe.
Yeah. To move on from there, we have the Warriors. And as always, it's either not too bad
Yeah,
or well, blow it
yeah,
up, you
yeah,
know. And we're
yeah.
back at the blow it up stage. The Warriors had a little bit of a 4 game win streak, got
They did.
themselves from 10 and 14 back to 500. And Christmas Day came, wasn't expecting a win. But
Well,
every
still,
game, like we've talked about it before, man, the Warriors are just always in
they're
close,
in it, bro. Yeah,
rugged, grindy games. They're not they have this. I mean, which is weird because the last couple of years before this, the losses the Warriors had were fucking bad. Like they would get smacked. It was like they're either gonna win or they're gonna get the dog shit kicked out of them.
yeah.
But this season, every loss, it's
Look,
like 1 to 10 points. It's just
yeah,
right there, or it's overtime loss and the youth of the Thunder, surpasses us. Which what are you gonna do? Steph's 30 fucking five. Give him a break. But
yeah.
anyways. Christmas Day. I mean, like, how can you defend Jokic with those fouls? Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. Is it's like he didn't earn those fouls. Fuck all that bullshit. The Warriors clamped Jokic, and he
Yeah,
didn't do
horrible game.
anything, but
Bad
just
game.
got 18 free throws. It was
Yeah,
just so many ticky tack bullshit fouls.
he
Jamal
sucked.
Murray cooked though.
Yeah, he
You
did.
know,
He
Jamal
did.
Murray cooked. I
His
think the
own home.
Warriors did a good job on MPJ. They always do a good job on MPJ. He hasn't really hurt us in any game we've played against him that
Yeah,
I've to the level that I thought he would.
yeah,
Defensively, he had a couple good blocks on Clay,
yeah,
but Clay's a trucker, so it's like the taller the guy, the eventually someone's gonna get a hold of that ball. But
yeah,
I just think it's the same thing as always. The Warriors just lack shot creation. I mean, they even got
yeah,
another, atypical good performance from Andrew Wiggins, but I think Kaminga played pretty well also.
he did.
Trace looked okay.
Yeah,
Pajemski looked good, but just wasn't enough. Steph couldn't get it going because the Nuggets just went all out to stop him, and
yeah,
nobody could really definitively pick up the slack. So, um, that going into this last night's game against the Miami Heat, check the injury report, and I'm like, no Jimmy Butler, no Kyle
yeah.
Lowry, no
That's
Caleb
too easy,
Martin.
man.
I
Yeah,
was like, I mean, I know the Heat are the Heat, and it's
yeah,
one of those things where they're gonna play smart, they're gonna throw some fuck ass defense at us.
yeah,
Every transition, every mistake we make, they're gonna capitalize on. Bam's gonna hit some stupid ass shit.
yeah,
Uh, and the Warriors just got outplayed from tip off.
yeah.
Bottom line. I mean, bottom line, they just got outplayed from tip off. And, I think this was we all saw the stuff at the end of the game where Steph and Claire just sitting on the bench, just looking out into the distance.
Like, man,
And, Athletic Alchemy's talking about it. I think all of Warriors Twitter's talking about it. It's like, this is the time, man. Like you have to do something.
yeah,
Don't stop waiting.
yeah.
Like you're not the Pistons. The Pistons, it's like make a move, don't make a move. You're not playing for shit. Like if you want to do it in the offseason, do it in the offseason. Like Pistons fans are like, no, do it now. But really, what are you gaining outside of just like, helping Cade's confidence. For
Yeah.
the Warriors, it's like you have 50 to 60 million tied up in Steph Curry for the next 2 seasons after this.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to win, why just get rid of everyone? It makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah.
So if you have to trade Kaminga, trade him. If you have to trade Moody, trade him. If you have to trade Trace, do it. Wiggins, Chris Paul, do it. Even Clay, I'd say do it. Pajemski, I want him to stay. I think that dude's a cornerstone.
Yeah.
Regardless, make shit happen. There's so many players that you could go out and get. We've talked about quite a bit, and I'm not going to go down the list again.
Yeah.
Uh, but we've talked about a lot of guys that could come in and immediately take this Warriors team to the next level. The return of Draymond, of course, defensively is going to help. Playmaking, should Chris Paul get traded, that will be of help again because our pace will increase once more, um, and all that good stuff. But right now, there's just the Warriors. They're playing really slow.
Yeah.
Steph can't get it going quick enough. The defense, all out of sorts. They play hard, but playing hard is not always enough. You got to be cohesive, and I don't think they're cohesive. Um, so rough 2 game losing skid.
Yeah.
But I will say the Warriors did make it known today that Andrew Wiggins is officially kind of on the trade block, that they're willing to move him.
Yeah.
Um, Whatever his value is, I imagine it's not much, but he does have some value. I mean, for a lot of teams, it's like, well, he's kind of just someone who can be here for a rebuild, and he might not sell too many tickets, but he'll be here, be a
Yeah.
consistent like 15 point per game guy. So why not?
Yeah.
Um, good little surrounding piece for a rookie guard or whatever. But um, there's moves to be made, and
That's,
I think Mike Dunleavy Jr. needs to just make them. Don't keep hesitating. Don't wait. Don't do all this like, let's give it some more. No, man, you need to just do something now.
yeah. Yeah.
Like before it's too late. The West is too fucking good. I
Exactly.
mean, like we're gonna get into it, but like just imagine Bradley Beal comes back eventually, and the Suns just take
Click. Yeah.
off.
Exactly.
Because right
Yeah.
now we're sitting at a point where the Suns are in a bit of a pickle and the
Yeah.
Warriors are kind of in that same spot. And it's
They are.
like you're
Yeah.
fighting for the play in right now.
I
And
know.
whoever gets healthy first, whoever figures it
Good
out
luck. Yeah.
first might
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
fly up. And I don't know if the Warriors are going to be in a spot where they can really keep up with anyone. And I don't want to be fighting in the play in. I don't think Steph wants to be fighting in the
Oh,
play
no.
in.
No, you don't.
So, and if we just make the playoffs in general or miss the playoffs in general, that is an absolute catastrophe
Yes.
because we have no draft picks,
Yeah.
no moves would have been made.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not, that
That is.
is the worst case scenario, but it's a possibility if, nothing happens.
Yeah. No, I'm
So,
100% with you on that one, man.
you know, don't stand pat, Mr. Dunleavy Jr.
Yeah.
Do fucking do something.
Do
Goddamn.
something, man. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, same issues. So I'm not even going to get into that. But yeah, 2 game losing skid for the Warriors. They're doing pretty well without Draymond, all things considered.
They're
But
working well. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, guys, I mean, Klay Thompson was very well in that winning streak you guys had. He played.
he's played some solid basketball, but
Yeah.
we're back to the point where uh Clay had fantastic games and now he's getting back to just shooting, shooting,
Play.
shooting, shooting,
Yeah.
shooting. Like someone needs to like smack him and be like, dude,
Yeah.
look at this game. Look how
Yeah.
good. Look at the decision making. But I don't know. I still think it's just a symptom of there's not enough shot creation, and then Clay is the only guy on the roster that has the delusional confidence to be like, I'm gonna go fucking do this shit because no one
Yeah.
else will.
Yeah.
And again, it's the Dylan Brooks thing. It's like, do you want this guy to do it? No, but at least he's got the balls to do it. It's
Yeah.
like you could complain about the efficiency all you want, but I don't see anybody else stepping up to the plate. So, I mean, if you saw that Christmas game, Chris Paul mic'd up is like asking Wiggins, like begging for this man to be aggressive,
Yeah.
begging him
Yeah.
on the mic, like, bro, please tell me you want the ball. I'll give you the ball. And
Yeah.
Wiggins is like, and then doesn't do anything. It's just, God, man, there people would kill to be in that man's position,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this guy is just a clock in, clock out motherfucker, and it sickens me. It
Yeah.
sickens me, man. Go play in the fucking Ice Cube 3-on-3 league if you don't like hoops like that. Just give someone else a chance. Like I don't even. think Kaminga's all that, but fucking let him take the
Let him,
35
yeah,
minutes at least. Like, at least he tries. He had 7 turnovers in a fucking quarter against the Heat. Still,
yeah,
I'd rather have that because at least he's fucking trying.
yeah. I
Ugh.
agree.
Anyways, we're gonna manifest my depression, and then we're gonna shift it over to the Detroit
Well,
Pistons
worst
fan base.
depression. Yeah.
Yeah, where that is suicide watch.
Actually,
You
yes.
know,
Yeah.
I will say, since the last time we recorded, you guys see all that stuff back there. I'm a proud member of the Sell the Team Club for the
Yeah.
Oakland Athletics. The Pistons fans, they've been getting some sell the team chants. Tom Gores, you fucking demon. Sell
Yeah.
the team. Why are you even here? No one likes you. Aren't tell them, get out of here. No one likes you.
He owns them
We
all, right?
Troy Weaver. Why do you exist? No one likes you. You got lucky, okay? You got lucky before. Go. It's time to go. Monty Williams, like you're a good coach, but you don't want to be here. They're not. This isn't your style, man. It's like putting
Yeah.
Spoelstra in fucking like 2022 Houston. It's not
Yeah.
gonna work, you know. It's like these are two conflicting mindsets. But regardless, the Pistons have officially set the single season record of 26 wins or 26 losses in a row. And then as of last night, the most cumulative losses consecutively of 28 against the Celtics. Um, Pistons fans, I'm so sorry. I mean, I know I just all I hope for you guys is Cade wants to stay. That's all I hope
Yeah.
because
Oh,
um
I'll be for nothing.
yeah, it's brutal. It's
Oh,
brutal. Again, we talked about it before we started recording. They are not this bad. They're just not. Like they've got enough talent. They're not. I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, I think we talked about it both at the start of the season. Like,
possibly play it. Yeah.
yeah,
They were so,
potential play-in team. Like they're gonna improve, but I think it was just one of those things where it's just so talented and so deep across the league that it's like one loss turns into two, two turns into three, three turns into four. That pressure keeps getting on you. Guys are all injured. Everyone, Monty keeps changing the fucking lineup. No one's getting any continuity. It's still a lot of young guys. And it just snowballs and snowballs. And before you know it, you're up 20 against the Celtics, about to finally snap your streak. And then it's like they make 1-3, and you're like, fuck, here it goes again.
yeah.
You know, I think everybody's been in that situation, whether it be sports team or life, just, like that feeling, that gut feeling of like, oh, here it goes.
Yeah.
And once you get there, man, it's impossible to win.
It
Yeah,
is.
everyone knows that feeling. It's fucking impossible. Once you get that doubt in yourself, it's done.
Yeah.
So I just feel bad for the Pistons. I know they're better than this. Pistons fans know they're better than this. Their lineup sucks. And that's kind of what we want to get into. But first, what are your thoughts of this whole streak for them?
Oh man, it is a horrible, horrible thing to encounter as a fan. I'm happy I'm not a Pistons fan, but man, this is terrible. This is awful. And like you said, Cade Cunningham, I hope he wants to stay because this is not a good look. This is horrible. He's playing very well on the streak too. That's the worst part is that he's
Yeah.
well, and to see that his play means nothing, I don't know. It must be excruciating because I know Asar Thompson's out. Was it an ankle sprain or something like that?
He played yesterday, or did he just get hurt from that game?
Well, before, like he was, I think he sprained his ankle a few
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago, and I think he just gotten back into it. But man, I don't even know. I just I never I've seen the Sixer teams, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were, they were losing, but there was a reason why they were losing. They were
yeah,
tanking. It was
yeah.
obvious. I don't know if this team's tanking or not. I can't tell. I
They're
mean,
not. That's the
they're not.
thing
That's
is
the thing.
they're
It's
not.
like,
They we all went into the season like we're no again. No one was putting championship aspirations or like even fifth, sixth seed stuff. We were all
yeah,
like, I think they'll
we
go
can.
because they had
Yeah,
17 wins
yeah,
last season. We were like, maybe they could get to like 30.
yeah,
30 wins, maybe play in. Like
yeah,
just improvement. Show the improvement. You got year two for Jaden Ivey, who had a great second half. Look
yeah,
at Jalen Williams. I don't think we were expecting that level of a boost, but
yeah,
just, show a little bit of like, okay, I can make this thing stick. Another
yeah.
year of Jalen Duren, who broke out last season. We were like, holy shit, this might be one of the most underrated draft picks we've seen.
Yeah,
Asar Thompson, his first couple weeks in the NBA, We were like, he might
Phenomenal.
win Rookie of the Year. Like he was
Yeah,
looking insane. I mean, they've got talent.
yeah,
They should be at least a
good.
30-win team.
Yes.
Well, Boyan, he's not fantastic, but
No,
he's
he's
someone
very
who
good.
last season could have gotten them a couple first round picks. Like
Yeah,
he's got value. He's a good scorer.
yeah,
He's someone that can get you 20 points a night. They've
definitely.
got solid bench guys. I don't know why Joe Harris isn't playing. I know Monty Morris was hurt. I don't know if he still is, but he's a veteran. Alec Burks is a decent veteran. I mean,
Yeah,
Marvin Bagley, he's starting to finally figure out his role.
yeah,
Like, I don't think he's great, but I think he's a good bench center.
yeah,
But I think Monty Williams has made a lot of mistakes with this roster. And I think there are too many zeros on this roster.
yeah,
Killian Hayes, Isaiah Livers, James Wiseman, uh, who else? Kevin Knox. I
yeah,
think there are just too many guys on this roster that they're just like G League players,
yeah.
G League or overseas guys. They're not NBA players. I don't even think James Wiseman is good enough for the G League. You know,
Yeah,
if you want to win in the G League, I mean, if you're
yeah,
just like, yeah, go fucking score, we don't care, then sure, yeah, James Wiseman is the goat of putting up meaningless numbers. But like, you put him in a high leverage situation. This man, look, someone said, I was watching a video, I forget who, but they were like, he looks like Bambi on ice. It's like, it really is true. Watching that guy play, he doesn't know how to play basketball. Poor
yeah,
fella. But he's making 10 million, so what the fuck do I care?
yeah.
Like,
He's living it.
robbery. Yeah. But it's just a fucking disgusting roster. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Monty Williams and how he's handled that roster so far?
Like you said, he is on the wrong team. He does not belong for a rebuild type team. I think he is very bad at minutes distribution on the Suns. I think that's why he got fired. He's horrible at lineups at
Fucking
times.
Chris Paul playing 45
Yeah,
minutes.
he is very
No
bad.
wonder he gets hurt.
Yeah, it is just like, oh my gosh, he is a good coach at times, and I can say that. I mean, he's been to the finals, obviously. He
Yeah.
won Coach of the Year a few times, but he needs to get out of Detroit. I know he just signed that massive, massive, massive contract. I think it's 72 million for 4 years,
Yeah.
something crazy like that. And it's like, you guys signed the wrong coach. And he's a great person, I think. I think I don't know him obviously, but from
Yeah.
what everything I've seen, Monty Williams seems like a phenomenal human being. But
Yeah.
man, he just seems like the wrong coach for this team. They need someone like a Diagonal, someone like that knows how to has coached G League teams, that knows how to work with young talent. And I don't it's I feel Monty Williams has always been put into situations where the talent might not be the greatest, but he's gonna know how to work with it. He was there from the Suns and when they were 10-0 in the bubble. He was there for
Yeah.
that. That was the perfect situation he could have gotten into. A team that was still young, yes, but a team that wasn't out of the draft young. They were a few years
Yeah.
in the league. They were acclimated to the league and they were ready to play. I think he needs to go somewhere like that. He needs to be somewhere where he can actually coach a team that is on the brink of contention, not the brink of a first round draft pick. And I think it does all really lie with him. He is a good coach for a different type of roster. This is the wrong
Yeah.
roster. They have so many weird pieces. I don't know why they have 20 centers, man. I don't get it. Isaiah Stewart, you got to move on from him, man. You got to move on from some
Or
of these.
just have him as your bench guy. Like Isaiah Stewart is undersized, and
Dude,
they're
6
trying to make this dude like a Miles Turner thing. It's like, I
work,
get
man.
it. He's been working on the three, but
Yeah.
just have him lean into his strengths. You
It,
know, uh, they
it,
try to do these two center lineups all the time.
it doesn't work, man. Yeah, like
No,
they're on like a 30-game losing streak in a bit. Like it's like, man, like it doesn't work. And they're 4-49 since the All-Star break last year. They're horrible. I mean,
it's
it's
just it's
you
so
Killian Hayes is getting minutes,
brutal.
dude. Killian Hayes is getting minutes out there, and it's like, oh man, get him out of here. He's been before this year, last 3 years, he's the worst player in the league statistically every year. It's like, dude, how is this guy in the league? Like, does he have dirt on
Yeah,
the Pistons like fucking owner?
yeah, this
Does he
guy's
have
like,
a file or what? It's like, why is
yeah,
this guy still in the league, man? I just feel like he wouldn't be in the G League either. I feel like
yeah,
every guy would be playing Euro basketball or something, and it's an odd
yeah,
situation. They have talent. Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, phenomenal backcourt if they know how to use it right. And Duran, man, I know he's missed some games for sure, but he
yeah.
he's a beast. I know he's a bit undersized, but he's literally a Bam clone, man. I mean, you have
Yeah.
you have talent. It's not like this team is just deprived of all talent and they're just nothing. I mean, you have you also have Asar Thompson. I mean, I don't even know if I can say that enough.
He's
Like
just a Swiss Army knife of a
wing.
defender. Yeah.
Yes, have a wing that is phenomenal. It's just this team is so
Yeah.
interesting to me that they're losing this much. Now, am I saying like we've stated, we're not by any means saying this team is really good. We are saying
No.
the team is just not this bad. It's very interesting they're losing. I mean, this year though alone, three teams in the NBA are within the top 10 losing percentage of like all time. The
Yeah.
Wizards
Wizards,
and the Pistons.
Pistons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
just a really weird season, like you said. It's just there's a lot of losing teams, and it's a bit interesting that they're this bad. I mean, I don't know, but I know the Pistons are on a different level of bad right now. And I saw Kuzma was
Yeah.
like making fun of them, and it's like, oh, you
Like,
guys,
bro,
yeah,
who are
you guys have
you?
5 wins. Yeah, it's
Like,
like you guys are only having 5 wins, so it's like,
yeah, bro, you're in the clubhouse of the dumbest sports team ever. I mean,
yeah,
Tyus Jones, I I feel so bad for Tyus Jones, who's like the
yeah,
only adult in that locker room.
yeah. He's been all right.
I'm
He's pretty
God
good,
damn, man. Because like
but
at least the Pistons have humility.
yeah,
Like I feel there is nothing more that I feel bad for than having players have to answer to bad ownership, bad front offices, because they
exactly.
have no control.
Yes,
Like Cade's getting thrown all the blame for this. He's the one answering the questions. You don't see Troy Weaver out there or Arn Tellem or Tom Gore. I mean, Tom Gore's pretty much blamed the fans. So fuck you, asshole. Fucking John
yeah,
Fisher clone. But no, like they're making Cade answer to this shit. It's like this dude wants to cry on the podium. It's like
yeah,
he hates this. He can't do anything though because
win.
you're
Yeah,
surrounding him with bums.
yeah.
Like six guys on that roster
Are not
aren't
NBA.
NBA players.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
like they're just role players. It's not like a Mavericks thing where you just got role players top to bottom. No, they're not NBA players.
yeah,
They're not playing on the best team's fourth string. They're not playing on some college teams. They're
yeah,
not playing on the second French team. They're
yeah,
not playing in Australia.
yeah,
They're not playing in the Philippines. These guys suck.
yeah.
And you've got them starting, playing 25 minutes off the bench. Like, again, we talk about Killian Hayes. Aside from assist to turnover ratio, what does he
What is it?
provide?
Yeah, what
Oh,
is
wait,
yeah. It's
nothing.
mind-boggling.
Nothing. And yet he's like taking up minutes from Jaden Ivey for what?
Yeah,
There's no logic, Monty. There's no logic, Troy. You can't like justify it.
I
There's
know.
just it blows my mind because again, I have all my criticisms for players, and Cade is kind of someone who's relatively fits in that a little bit because he's an interior point guard, which is a little atypical in today's game. Like he can shoot, but
Yeah, he can.
he's like Chauncey Billups. He's a
Yeah,
post up guy, gets downhill, lob threat fella. That's how he plays.
big guard.
Like,
Yeah,
but when you're like a Trey Young or you're a Luka Doncic, you need, and Cade again kind of falls in that category.
yeah,
You need a certain type of roster configuration around you.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're just hurting him. You're not maximizing him.
yeah.
You know, you're just not. And I just this roster, like, who can I mean, Alec Burks, kind of not really. Boyan, who else is a consistent 3-point shooter on this roster? I mean, Joe Harris, again, for some reason, ain't
Doesn't play.
playing.
He doesn't touch the
Uh,
ball.
Not
No.
like he would help this team at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know. But aside from those two that are getting minutes, who can shoot consistently?
yeah,
No one.
yeah,
And you're playing with an interior point guard who you want to run with two interior bigs. So you want to run with Killian Hayes, who can't score. And you're like, this isn't working. Hmm, puzzling, really. It's like I don't know. It's just I say this to say half of us would be 10 times the front office people that is currently in pro sports.
I do feel like that. I do feel like that at times. It's like I feel like I might be wrong saying this, but I don't see how I couldn't go out there and put a better roster together for a team like the
Yeah,
Pistons.
it's fucking easy.
Mind
Get
boggling.
guys that shoot, you
Yeah,
imbeciles.
yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
Like I you could trade Ivy, you can trade Boy, you could trade all these dudes and
Yeah.
just bring back 6'6" wings that shoot 35% from three, and then keep Jalen Duren and keep Cade Cunningham, and they'd win at least 20 games.
Yeah.
They'd play better than this. But nope, you've got six guys who shouldn't even be on an NBA court, and you're questioning why this thing ain't working.
Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
know.
uh, and I've been watching a shitload of Pistons fans and everything that they're feeling and talking about this, and I think they're right. I'm an A's fan. I've been there too. It's there, they're like, what scares me the most is all this negative publicity is gonna make them make some knee-jerk trade, but they're gonna trade the wrong guy for the wrong guy, and it's gonna set us back even further. And honestly, as shitty as it sounds, I honestly think that's true.
It is.
Look at who they're already trying to trade for. Shams tweeted about it yesterday or the day before. Miles Bridges, why? You have the worst publicity right now, and you want to trade for a domestic abuser and stalker.
Ugh.
Everyone league wide hates this man, and you're like, that's our boy. He's from Flint. He's from Michigan. And
Yeah.
it's like, no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants that shit around.
Yeah. You
You're
already saw
trying to get back
it.
into a good space, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, let's bring the shittiest person we could
Yeah.
find. You might as well sign Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Bring him in too. Fuck it, right?
You have a team. No, I don't think anyone is looking at this team and be like, oh my God, they're horrible people. It's just publicity from basketball. But trying to bring someone in like that, it's like
Yeah,
that's going to do you no favors. I mean, it,
exactly. It's just it's
uh,
gonna make Cade answer to more questions he doesn't have
yeah,
answers to. It's like
exactly.
I don't fucking. I'm just a player, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, there's so much stuff like why didn't they trade Boyan last year? Why?
why did
Tell
they
me,
trade Sadiq Bey?
tell
Makes
me
no
why.
sense. Why
Why
did
do
they
you
trade
have
for Wiseman? Why did they get signed Bagley again? Oh,
this whole thing, man? It's a huge question mark to me because they did a lot of smart moves this offseason too by eating bad contracts. They ate bad contracts for picks and picks attached to it. And it's like phenomenal. You guys are very smart for this. I mean, very good. And I thought they were going in a different direction. They have like a Thunder assistant GM, I think. That's who their GM is. I forgot his name, but it's like a ex-Thunder GM, and it's like, man,
I think
he's
it's Troy Weaver because didn't Troy Weaver draft Kevin Durant, and that's why like he had clout, and it's like, bro, but it was Kevin Durant. Like, are we really impressed? Like, who the fuck wasn't gonna take KD?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. This whole team is like, it's just, it's not that bad. And I hope they can figure it out sooner than later because, I mean, I don't know. Like I've stated, like we were talking about before, I'm very confused why Jaden Ivey doesn't get more minutes. And it's really interesting. I don't know. This
I
whole
mean, I
team,
get that he doesn't really fit next to Cade as far as like not being a spacer, not being a legit spacer, but it's like, well, then why'd you draft? I mean,
yeah,
we all knew like Jaden's not a he's a excuse me, he's a solid young player that anyone would want in the draft, but also it's like you could have got something that fits better, or
yeah,
you could have traded the pick.
yeah.
Like you didn't just have to go out and get another young guy just to get another young guy and say, look, the future, more future. So to move on, a big topic I think the league has kind of been going under, most recently with the Phoenix Suns, but also some recent comments on, I think it was Christmas or the day after, but by Becky Hammon regarding Jalen
Oh,
Brunson and the
yeah,
Knicks is there too much of a focus on stars and signing stars, trading for stars, and trying to win a championship based off of, I guess, the numbers of how many stars you have?
yeah,
And again, we kind of want to focus here on the Phoenix Suns because I think they're the best example. Like Kevin Durant kind of tends to be the headliner of all these conversations, but um, obviously last season, the Suns decide we're gonna pull the trigger and trade for Kevin Durant after a really weird tenure in Brooklyn. Uh, they made it kind of far. Chris Paul obviously getting hurt, but uh, Suns move on then from Chris Paul and create that whole little trade scenario to bring in Bradley Beal, which I think everyone was kind of like, huh?
yeah,
Like, okay, I guess 3 stars again, all 3 bucket getters. We'll see. Who the hell is going to be the ball handler? Where's the defense? All valid questions that I think have been answered at this point.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Dame trade brought over Yusuf Nurkic and all that stuff, and DeAndre Ayton goes over there. Just this whole slew of things. But the gist being, Phoenix essentially made the gamble of top heavy star power for overall depth.
Yeah.
And I think we're in a point now where so many teams have made this gamble of trying to create these super teams and getting these one, two, three, four, five superstars together and trying to win. And it just always fails. It it never works. It hasn't worked again since Miami for that, the second little stint of Miami, the
Yeah.
first year of Boston. I know everyone wants to bring up Golden State, but they literally just added Kevin Durant. They didn't go out and sign five guys, trade their whole roster to overhaul it for this, like the Warriors had their same roster and just slotted in KD. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to count them because they don't really represent what I'm talking about. But the Clippers, I think, are a great example who traded everything young, pick everything. I mean, they're not going to be drafting until they're, these motherfuckers right now in like preschool,
Yeah.
get draft eligible. So how do you feel? Do you think this is a big issue in the league? And do you think there's going to be kind of like we see with the players movement and do you think there's going to be a big like flip eventually where teams are like, you know what? I'm just not going to trade for these guys anymore.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. I definitely think these Suns, Clippers, perfect examples. They're gonna set this straight, and I think a lot of people are gonna see their mistakes because it's bound to happen. The Clippers are looking great right now, and they're playing
Hmm.
phenomenal. Maybe they can go power through this year. I don't know. The Suns, on the other hand, they're another example of this being the same thing. They traded everything young. They got rid of everything they had that was relatively young, and they traded it to acquire new assets such as Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and then obviously Clippers, Kawhi, Paul George, and it was a haul. I mean, for both, they're big hauls. I mean, Kevin Durant was a haul. Got rid of Mikal. Cam, countless number of picks. It's a lot of assets that you're trading away for someone that, and I mean, it's Kevin Durant at 34.
34, 35. He's up there.
He's not relatively young whatsoever.
Yeah.
Crazy amounts of injury history now at this point in age, but it's a very weird situation for the Suns. I think a little bit more weird than the Clippers. The Clippers have found playoff success. Not saying the Suns haven't, but the Suns are in a really weird spot to where I don't know if they can really make it crazy big in the playoffs. I don't know. I think their roster is not really well put together as of right now for the playoffs. So we're going to see about that. But I think this is a blueprint that for two teams that thought, hey, we can trade everything young. It's like the Rams. The Rams did it in football at work. They got a Super Bowl out of it, whatever. Basketball, I don't think it's the same. You can't do
Yeah.
it. It's not going to work. I think there's so much that goes into building an NBA championship team. Warriors, for example, they had phenomenal stars. They had phenomenal bench players. They had phenomenal defense. They had so much stuff. The Suns are more so a strict offensive team. That is a great offensive team. Defensively, they're very questionable. The Warriors had both down. That's why they were a dynasty. It is what it is. It makes sense. But a team like that trading for two stars, it's never going to work. I feel like in history, I can't think of anyone where it has worked. We
Yeah.
look, we look at the early 2010s Nets. They tried it, bombed,
Jesus. Yeah.
bombed, horrible. They were set their back 5 to 6 years, 7 years.
They lost
Horrible
Jason
trade.
Tatum over this shit,
They
man.
lost Jason Tatum. They lost
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma. They lost Jalen Brown. They lost so many great, phenomenal players because of their
Yeah.
mistakes. I don't think there's really a time in history, and I'm not saying one singular star. There has been trades where one
Yeah.
singular star has been brought to a team, phenomenal. It worked perfectly. 76ers, Moses Malone in the past. It worked phenomenally. They won a ring. There's so many examples of this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going to LA. He
Yeah.
won rings. He won MVPs. Phenomenal. But trying to create a super team off of trades, it never works. And I think that's just how it is. I think that is something that is going to be shown by history. I mean, that Nets team, man, that is probably the best example I could give. They were horrible for years after this. The Suns and the Clippers, you guys might have a similar fate to someone like that. I
Huh.
mean, Suns especially might have a fate to where they were in the late 2010s. So
Oh, they don't have a single young guy.
I don't.
I mean, what are you gonna put the fate of your club in Nasir Little?
Yeah, and I mean, I think he's a phenomenal role
Jordan
player, but
Goodwin?
yeah, like you're
Like,
saying, man,
yeah. I mean, at least the Clippers could say we got Terrence Mann. I mean, I
yeah,
don't
like
really Terrence Mann to me, his ceiling's probably like a Gary Trent Jr. But like
yeah,
that it's better than Nasir Little. So
yeah,
but yeah, you're in purgatory. There's nothing like you have sold your soul for
yeah,
these next 2, 3 years.
it might not
And
work whatsoever.
if you strike out, you are fucked. And for the Clippers especially, who are about to get that brand new spanking arena, that expensive ass arena,
30 something.
boy, you are about to have a long decade of just
I know.
atrociousness.
Yeah, and I mean, you're looking at, yeah, like you're saying, man, I don't think people understand the importance of role players. And I mean, you can look at these championship runs by the last few years. There's always been phenomenal role players on each team. And I mean, last year the Nuggets, I can't
Bruce
say that
Brown,
Bruce Brown, I think maybe Aaron Gordon might be
Aaron
considered
Gordon too, yeah.
phenomenal. I think two of some of the best role players in the league right there. You guys the year before, Gary
Wiggins, GP,
Wiggins,
yeah.
you guys have phenomenal role players. The year before that, same thing with the Bucks. I mean, phenomenal role players, man. It's just it is what it is. But the role players, I agree. There's a blueprint of having a few stars on the team, no matter what, for sure. But if you're going out and trading for extra, like Durant, Booker, that's an awesome, cool duo. Getting Beal, it killed everything.
Yeah.
Is
It's redundant. It doesn't
it
make
is,
sense.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
now they're paying for it. And if they just had some role players that were just awesome role players to go along with these guys, we're looking at a top three seed in the
Yeah.
West.
Well, and
These
then you traded Aiton for a more injury prone Aiton.
Aiton,
It's like it doesn't make sense,
yeah. I mean, you got
you
Grayson on
know?
it, which who's been
Good role player.
great role player.
Yeah.
But like you said, they're in a really weird spot. And I don't really know what else to say. They messed up, I think, but
Yeah.
hey, there's still years of this to go. I mean, Beal will get paid for the next, I think, 3 more years. So we'll see how this goes for them. So this is a
Yeah,
weird
it's
part.
because that's the other thing is you get into a place where sometimes I think the Sun, we saw rumors. I don't know if they're legit. Kevin Durant always says, I didn't say that to everything, but let's be
Oh, with
real.
frustration.
Yeah, but let's be
Yeah,
real. KD, he requests trades a lot.
yeah. I
This
went
is
to
like
Gary
my
for
career for
that.
him.
Yeah,
So yeah, he
yeah.
just, not going well. I'm out of here. But,
Absolutely.
um, I just, we're getting to a point where I don't know who's gonna. I mean, I know a lot of teams are gonna be calling. I did see someone. I think it was Bill Simmons. I could be mistaken. I think it was Bill Simmons though. Say like the Suns want to trade or would think about trading KD for Draymond, Kaminga, Wiggins, and two firsts. I'm like, whoa, whoa! Like I'll give you Wiggins and Kaminga and firsts all day long, but like KD's 34, 35, 36, two bum legs,
Yeah.
3 years left on that fucking fat ass contract. Like, no, man. I'm not giving up the defense for this dude.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's just not happening.
same thing next year. He might not want to play. It's like
Yeah, you
it's
can't trust them. I
it's a
don't.
weird
I'm
place.
not putting the fate of my team in an untrustworthy. It's why I have the same feelings about Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
That's why when the Mavericks, like we talked about it in the offseason, when the Mavs got the opportunity to move Kyrie Irving and then decided to sign him and extend him, that blew my mind. It's like, when have you ever been able to trust Kyrie Irving to just stick by your franchise, full stop? Never.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, credit to him. He's stayed under the radar this season. I don't really know how he's been playing, but the Mavericks have been doing well. But
Is
like,
he
I don't know. Is he hurt? I don't even know.
he was. Yeah, he was hurt for a bit. I think he might be back now though. He like hurt his foot or something really weird.
Hmm.
He's having a pretty good year, yeah.
Yeah, but like, there are some guys where you don't want to hitch your wagon to these people. They're not trustworthy. They're not, and it's not like you have to get the most trustworthy person, but it's like these are guys that they don't try to stick through the hard times. They don't try to stick through the rough edges.
Yeah.
Right when danger hits, they want out.
They want out.
And yeah, like and the issue is again the players movement has kind of made it to where they can get out. You can't tell them, bro, fuck you. You're staying. Like you
Yeah.
signed this contract. I didn't have a gun to your head. You chose. So, yeah, you need role players. There you do. You need a cohesive unit, and Phoenix doesn't have that. And we look at so many teams, and I know every year there's been plenty of teams that have won with like centers being the dominant scorer, forwards being the dominant scorer.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays, because everyone is getting so skilled offensively,
Yeah.
a lot
Everybody.
of those forwards that used to be able to win, they don't have that IQ anymore. Like
Yeah.
we see with Jason Tatum. I mean, Luca is just, I don't point guard, shooting guard, small forward, whatever position you want to label him as. Like he's a rarity. Most forwards that are the main guy, like they just don't have the IQ to hold it down. They
Yeah.
don't, they're not the playmakers, they're not the facilitators, they're not defensive, minded. I mean, I know Tatum's like one of the best defenders in the league, but still, like again, kind of a rarity there. For the most part, you need a good point guard, not in the sense of like a Kyrie Irving, but just like a high IQ point guard that can set the offense up. You need to get that score. Like that we're in a space where too many guys think they can do everything when they just can't. And I think you got Devin Booker playing point guard, KD playing 1 through 4, getting
Yeah.
16 assists because no one
Oh,
else can play make.
yeah.
It's like, dude, it shouldn't be this again. We go back to the whole Klay Thompson, Dylan Brooks thing. It's like, can they do it technically? But you
Yeah.
don't want them to. I don't want KD to be my playmaker.
I don't
I
either.
want KD to go get 45 points and be
Yeah.
the dominant scorer that he is.
Yeah.
I want Devin Booker to be the dominant scorer that he is, not be the point guard. He's not a point guard.
Yeah.
I didn't sign him to be a point guard. So, yeah,
Definitely.
there's just a lot of redundancies. And then on top of that, a lot of these stars are frankly just never healthy.
Yeah.
So, the Suns, again, perfect example. They've spent what, like 20 minutes together, all three of them,
Yeah.
nearly 30 games into the season, maybe 20 minutes together. Bradley Beal can't stay healthy. Not even a big
Illegal.
needle mover. He just
Yeah.
gives you 15 points per game, maybe 20 at this point. Like, doesn't play good defense, not a very good facilitator. What is his purpose? Why are you giving a guy 40 something $1 million to just be like a worse Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah.
If we're honest, I mean, call a spade a spade. Kevin Durant's going to be scoring more. Devin Booker's going to be scoring more. So what the fuck does Beal do?
Yeah.
You're not going to have 3 30 point per game scores. That's just
Yeah.
like,
He's
uh,
unnecessary, man.
yeah.
I,
Unless
they,
Matt Ishbia is fucking stupid and he was like, yeah, we could have 3 30 point per game scores. It's like, that has never happened.
yeah,
That's just not going to happen.
it's not.
You might
And
get a 30 point per game and then a 25 point per game, but then after that, it's a drop off.
yeah,
But
big time.
yeah, so I don't know, but I think, we said it, you said it, like, they're gonna need to. There's gonna hopefully be a flip at some point where teams just stop trying to
Trying to
like
win.
overhaul their roster for
Yeah.
stars. Yeah,
In the recent NBA, it hasn't worked. In the past, it hasn't worked. I mean, I think this is a new trend, though. This is definitely a 2010s thing on. This hasn't been really
oh
done
yeah,
too much before. This is a 2010s thing for sure. But I'm trying to think of a team in history right now that tried to win this way. Doesn't work, man.
yeah.
And
You have two examples. I mean, literally just Miami and Boston. Those are the two teams that were like, yeah, we're just gonna go get the best players in the league together.
yeah,
And Boston was supposed to win 3 4 championships. They won
oh,
only one.
yeah,
Miami was supposed to win 5 6. They won two.
yeah.
Like it doesn't go as planned.
Yeah, no, I think it's 100% true. And I mean, you look at a team like the Lakers that won in that era, and they were pretty much homegrown. I mean,
Yeah.
aside they traded for Powell, obviously, but Andrew Bynum, Kobe, their two other stars, they were Lakers. They were drafted to the Lakers. They
Yeah.
played for the Lakers their whole career. I mean,
And then the rest were just role players.
yeah, exactly.
It's
And
just a
that's a great
like,
format.
yeah.
And I think that as I look at things like this, I think about it for the Thunder too, and I hope they don't. I don't think they ever would, but I hope they don't ever go in a situation like where they do something like this. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of things like that. And I think, yeah, I think some of the best teams of the last 10 years don't do this. And I
Yeah.
think obviously the Nuggets, they didn't do it. They traded for role players, sure, but they never really went to go get other players like this. You guys obviously never really reached for stars ever. I mean,
Yeah.
that's it is what it is. The Bucks, not well, kind of, I guess, somewhat now.
The Dame trade, yeah.
As of now, yes, but when they won, Drew Holiday, I mean, that wasn't a bad trade. That
No,
was
that's just a good defensive
yeah,
guard that can kind of play make and have some supplementary scoring.
it was needed.
Yeah.
It was 100% needed. But I mean, yeah, no, I think that if you look at it in the past and you look at it now, it's not a winning formula, and I don't think it ever will be in the NBA. You need more. You need more than what you think in the NBA. There's
Yeah.
so much that goes into a championship. That's why I think NBA is almost as hard as probably winning a Super Bowl. It's crazy that
Yeah.
it's one of the hardest sports to win a championship in. But I mean, obviously baseball exists and there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, no,
Basketball and baseball are they're very big fool's gold sports.
yes,
They like
they
they
make you
make
think
you
something
think that the
else.
more talent you have, the
The
better
better
you're
you
gonna get.
are.
But
If you're not,
you get the Dodgers teams, you
yeah,
get all these
you
NBA
get hot at the
teams.
right
It's
time.
like, you
Yeah,
know, yeah,
it basketball in the last few years, I could say basketball has been a little different than it used to be because I feel like every year we're like, oh, the Warriors are gonna make the championship for sure. The Warriors, the Heat, when they're there, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it to the finals, and then not really anymore, because last year I went, oh, the Bucks are gonna make it. They lose in the first round to the Heat. Oh my gosh, the Celtics are gonna make it. They lose to the Heat in the third round. They lose to the eight seeded Heat. I mean,
yeah.
basketball as it is, I think nowadays it's whoever gets hot, and that's kind
And
of showing.
whoever's just, I mean, go up and down in that playoff run for the Heat. Who was a more cohesive unit than the Heat?
Exactly.
Only the Nuggets.
Only them.
Those
Yeah.
were the two most cohesive units out of anyone. The
Both
Bucks
make
had
close.
just they
Yeah.
just lacked so much depth. You
Yeah.
know, I, the Celtics, they're imbeciles. They're always gonna get in their own way. Forget
They're
them. I
yes.
don't believe in the Celtics. I'm a non-believer. The
Uh,
Lakers, they kind of like ran into some good stuff, but the Nuggets, they were too good of a unit. You
Steamroller.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And everyone's like, oh, look at all the crazy shots Jokic and them made. It's like, dude. Hey man, I don't know if you've been watching, but Jokic is like that. I mean,
Yeah.
defensively, he had his best season, or defensively, he had his best like time in the playoffs and the finals. But like overall, Jokic has been a killer in everything. And you know, if you don't think that offense can come around,
Yeah.
you're sorely mistaken. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, it's just a weird shot, so it never looks like it's going in. But man, he's 7 feet tall. You can just
Yeah.
throw that fucker up, you know. But no, I don't know. Like, I just don't know what to do from here because, again, we look at a team like the Knicks where, their front office is like, we're one guy away. And it's like, no, you're not.
Well, you're not.
No,
Yeah.
you're not. And to get that one guy you think you need, you're going to give up too much.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
it's not going to be cohesive. And
Yeah.
then Brunson's not going to get the touches he needs, which means their
Yeah.
offense is going to function the same. Julius Randle's not good enough. Whoever you get might not be good enough, might be injury prone. Your defense is going to suck. There's going to be something. It's just not going to go well. You're better off saying, okay, look, the Pacers are kind of taking a fall a bit. Let's check in on Bruce Brown, or hey, let's look down at I don't know Orlando. Like right now, Wendell Carter Jr. has been getting DMPs.
Yeah.
Like maybe you and look at him because they're going with Mo Wagner. So like there's role players need to be more of the wave. I
Definitely.
think for teams to compete. And you brought up Pau Gasol going to the Lakers in what was it, 09 or 2010?
Yeah.
Um,
Something like yeah, like 08, 09.
yeah. Why did that work? Because Pau Gasol's game complemented Kobe's game
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Pau was just a good facilitator, inside scorer. His positioning, his IQ, just it
Defense.
matched Kobe perfectly. You
Yeah.
know, but if they went out, I mean, we saw when Kobe got Dwight Howard. Like Dwight Howard at the
Whatsoever.
time was considered one of the best bigs in the league.
Yeah.
Like I think he came off that injury, but still considered one of the best bigs in the league.
By
That
far.
shit went
South.
horribly,
Really fast. Yeah. They
horribly.
grabbed Steve Nash too. Another example. They
Yeah,
traded for Steve Nash. They traded for Dwight. What was
didn't work.
they made the eight seed. They got swept in the first round. I mean, these you can't trade for stars, man. And when
Yeah,
I was a kid, I definitely would have thought Brooklyn and definitely would have thought the Lakers would have been the favorites back then. And I was like, you know what? This team's gonna be phenomenal no matter what. But it
yeah.
doesn't work. You can't trade for stars, man. That's another perfect example. I totally forgot that they had Dwight Howard then too.
Yeah,
But yeah, it doesn't work, man. And I think that there's too many examples. Oh, for the amount of time we've had where players are easily as traded as nowadays or the last 10 years, we can say, I don't think
yeah.
there's I don't think there is a sequence we can look at and be like, wow, this team traded for so much and they got so much because the Heat, they didn't trade for either. I believe Chris
Both
Bosh
free agent.
are both free agents. Yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
free agent
Well, and
signing
they complemented each other well.
perfectly.
LeBron is the Swiss Army knife. You can
Yeah,
throw him anywhere. He can do anything.
do anything.
Dwight or Dwayne Wade, he's the downhill threat, consistent
Yeah,
downhill threat, and a good facilitator. Bosh, the floor spacer, and
yeah,
the good stretch at the front
anything.
line.
Yeah,
Like they complemented each other.
yeah,
Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, Allen
yeah,
complemented each other so well. I mean, I know Rondo doesn't technically fit in that, but
yeah,
as far as the big three there, they complemented each other well.
big time.
Like it's about who fits, and we talked. I This episode is pretty much just like you got to know who fits and who doesn't because the
Exactly.
Pistons, same thing applies. The Thunder, you bring up a good point. It's like Sam Presti's been fantastic, but I'm sure there's probably just a little bit of anxiety of like, oh, what if he gives up too much? What if he
Exactly.
keeps the picks and trades too many young guys and now we don't have any like we already have a little bit of a depth problem and then we have no depth now because you trade
Yeah,
for Markkinen and he cleaned house for us. Or so that I think that it's just like focus on the role players. Just
exactly.
focus on the role players.
Yeah,
Frankly, and I just thought of this, and I don't know if this has like been a thing, and I don't know. I think everybody kind of wants him, but like, forget Laurie Markkinen, man. You guys should trade for Mike Hale.
Bridges. Oh man.
3-and-D wing,
Oh man. That would be.
drop Lou Dort.
That would
Hey,
be.
Lou Dort, we just upgraded you for a better you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, that would be a dream come true, but that's not going to happen.
no.
I know he's a very valued asset in
I mean, you
Bridges.
guys have the assets to trade for more than
We do.
anybody else, but still, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that's jokes. But still, I just we gotta stop with this whole like we're one star away. I mean,
Exactly. No, I'm
I
with you on that.
yeah, and I know it's I guess hypocritical, Jesus, because I've been saying for the Warriors, you got to make a move, you got to make a move.
It's
I
a
want
good.
to clarify
Yeah.
just one time if I haven't made it clear, like getting a Pascal Siakam, getting a Lowry Markkinen, getting Julius Randle or any of these guys, it
Yeah.
does not make the Warriors the championship favorites. All it does is put them back into that window where they can do something.
Yeah.
They still need to get rid of Kevon Looney at this point. I'm sorry, bro. I appreciate your 10-year Iron Man streak. Salute, but boy, howdy, are you a fucking net negative out there at this point? The
Yeah.
rebounding is not worth it. You get killed defensively. You've got no interior presence offensively. You're just taking up space. You're making $30 million. I'm sorry. You got to go.
Yeah.
Two, you don't have enough wings. Jonathan Kuminga, not enough. Andrew Wiggins, why do you even play basketball? Like Klay Thompson, he's good, but if you don't have a good shot creator, he's not that good
Absolutely.
because he
Yeah.
tries to do too much. Like Steph, they just take him out of the game. Every team is going to game plan for him, and then they're going to pick on him the most offensively. So it's like you got to help this guy out, and just getting a star does
Yeah.
not change the Warriors from being a mediocre team to automatically they're a top three team.
Yeah.
Like they need more.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I just think this idea that one guy can change everything here, not the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. I'm
So
on that one.
yeah, but that's gonna wrap things up. We'll save the last topic for another day, which is who are the true championship caliber players currently in this era or in this league right now. And I think we all kind of know, but we'll get into that whole thing in the next episode. But um, appreciate you guys for watching. Have a again. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
Uh, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Have a good rest of your, what is it, Wednesday? Friday, Jesus. Have a good weekend and football, man. Playoffs are right around the corner. Pistons fans, at least you got the Lions, man. You had to sacrifice all your other teams, but you got the Lions.
Go the
So,
Lions.
be happy now. But yeah, man, have a good weekend. Thank you and peace.